So my name's Ferletta Martinez, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. Today I live free. And how amazing is that? To be chained by your addiction and it to control every move that you make, and to be free from that today is an amazing gift of recovery. I always thought I would grow up and be a school teacher. It was never my choice. I never woke up one day and said, I would really like to be addicted to drugs today and just chase it all day and leave my children. I did make the choice to take that first drug. I did make the choice not to ask for help when I could have. I don't think I knew where it was going to take me. I remember growing up, I really didn't have a whole lot of self-confidence. I really searched for validation from other people and really became like a people pleaser. I remember the first time I ever got drunk and I ended up getting sick. And in my mind, it was a positive thing. I felt like I had confidence and I felt like I was accepted by my peers. And so I couldn't wait to do it again. In 2005, I graduated from high school and I ended up having my son that year. And that really changed things for me and put me on a better path. 2 years later, I ended up having my daughter, and I was a really good mom. I was a good mom. Unfortunately, through having my children, I really struggled with back pain until one day it was introduced to me to take an opioid, and it numbed me. It numbed my pain. It numbed my emotionally, physically. And then eventually it became something that I needed to have every day to survive. My addiction grew, and so did my drug of choice. And the day that meth was introduced to me was a game changer. I quickly spiraled out of control. I lost my job. I lost my house. And I took my children to my mom's house and dropped them off, and I didn't go back to get them. And the only way that I can really describe the power of addiction is through my children. That I loved my children with all my heart, and I would walk through fire for them, and my addiction got in the way of that. That point was extremely a hopeless place to be. My addiction really had a control over me. It determined what time I was going to get up, what I was going to do that day, who I was going to talk to. You know, eventually I looked in the mirror and I couldn't see myself anymore. All I could see was my addiction. Eventually I got arrested and got some pretty serious drug charges. I look at my arrest photo, and to me that was a really humiliating moment. And I look at that picture and I think of what society thought of me, of a bad mom, a junkie, an addict, someone who's not a productive member of society. And I look at that picture and I see someone who's really broken and screaming for help, someone who misses her kids and doesn't know how to stop the cycle of addiction. In 2014, I started my recovery journey by going to New Life Recovery Center. There I was able to really start building the tools that I needed to be successful in my recovery. The switch came for me when I was able to really practice that acceptance of where I had been, my past, who I am right now. Accepting that I wasn't a bad person, that I had made really bad choices, and that I had the disease of addiction. Everybody thinks that when you go to rehab, you're fixed and you're healed, but recovery is not that. Recovery is hard work. I got out of New Life and I had my return to use, and so obviously I still don't have this thing and I need more help. So I ended up getting into the drug court program, and I hear a lot of people say that drug court is hard, it's impossible, and that wasn't my experience. My experience is that recovery is hard, and I needed that support from drug court to kind of get through it. Our attitudes and belief really shape our perspective, and I came into the recovery court program with the attitude that I need this and it's going to help me, and it did. Really, drug court, the only expectation they really had for me was to show up with some honesty, some willingness to do something different, and some open-mindedness about it, to be able to make changes today. They didn't expect me to be perfect. They didn't expect me to do it perfect. They met me where I was at. I'm just really grateful to have had that opportunity and to be able to be a part of recovery court today. I graduated in 2021, and well, prior to that, I became a peer support specialist. It's a challenging and it's rewarding, and I love it. It's my dream job. And I think for so long, I lived in my addiction, and my addiction is such a selfish, it's all about me and what I need today. And becoming a peer support really allows me to step outside of myself and show up for somebody else today, and share my experiences and share my hope with somebody, because someone was there to share it with me. And if I can help just one person, it's worth it to me. I hate that I had to go through the things that I went through. I hate that my children had to go through the things that they went through. But my life is so much better today because of those hardships that I had to face, because of those hardships that they had to face. I have a connection with them today that's pretty strong, and I get to share my recovery and my experience. These are things that I never would have built otherwise. I am so grateful, and I think that keeps me humble and really enjoy life. In 2020, I had my son, and you know, the gift of recovery is that he never has to see me use or live that lifestyle that my other children had to live. And I just got custody of my daughter this past year. She's 16, and we have worked really hard to rebuild our relationship, and I get to be there with her today and get ready for prom. And I'm really grateful for the little things that I get to do for her and the way that I get to be her mom today. Something so simple as making her lunch. My son's getting married this summer, and he wants me to be a part of his wedding. I get to show up today, and I have money today to like get an Airbnb and be a part of that process of I can afford to buy him a wedding gift and to pay part of the expenses for the wedding. That's a gift that I get to show up for my kids today in that way. I couldn't see past a second without substances. And that was the part of the hopelessness of it. I just couldn't break that cycle of addiction. And for me, hope is something that is shared. Today I have hope because somebody shared that with me. They shared their experiences with me. Hope is connection and love and acceptance. Yeah, what a gift that I get to live with hope today. It's one of my most valued possessions.